Hello, hello, hello. Oh, let's see. We got our radio going. We got our video going. We're good to go here. I'm starting just maybe a touch early, but that's all right because we got lots to get through today. We got a lot of things to talk about today. And, we're doing the second half of the city council budget today. Well, not the second half. We're just going to talk a little bit about it because yesterday I couldn't get everything in. And there's a couple more things happening at city council. So if you're watching on video, you may not catch it all by time the meeting starts at 2 o'clock today, but on radio, you'll hear it live. So on radio, you're going to hear what I have to say live before it starts. By the time I get this video up and running, it's going to be probably 3 o'clock or so. So we'll be well into the meeting, about an hour into the meeting by then. So you might not get it, but you can review it after if you didn't get to watch the meeting live because you're working like most people. Then you can always watch the video and then watch the thing if you like. So either way, we're going to get it done. Today's Trash Talking Tuesday, November 26th. We're rolling up to the end of the month here. My goodness, we're rolling. It's gone fast, November. And there's still lots going on because we got to get through this meeting today. And then, of course, in December, the early part of December, the 1st of December, December 5th or 3rd or something like that, they're going to have a meeting to okay this budget and ratify it and that kind of thing at the next meeting of city council. I think it's in December, early December 3rd, I think. But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me. I'll let you know. Don't worry about it. We'll be back on Thursday talking about what they decided today. I guarantee you that on my Straight Talk Thursday show. For now, let's get to our sponsors, and then we're going to get into the show. My sponsors, of course, are Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue with a new sponsor coming in on Monday. Woo! Monday is the new sponsor, so we'll be talking about them towards the end of the week. Okay, so right now, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Of course, they're offering their free end of summer inspection. Well, I call it the beginning of winter inspection. And guess what? You want to get down there and have your car checked out. You want to be proactive. You don't want to be breaking down in the snow and the sleet. You know that crappy weather we start getting. And we're going to get it this weekend to start off with. You want to get your car down. Ken's going to check. He's going to check everything. Fluids, lighting, brakes, tires, suspension, everything. Everything on your car. Also run a computer scan to make sure there's no error codes that are popping up, so that you can have a nice motoring-free winter. You don't want breakdowns. That's not nice. Breakdowns are no good. You want to go clean. Now, they're going to fix anything that's the problem. They'll show you what it is. They'll show you right what's happening, and they're going to fix it for you. You can't beat it. Be proactive. And if for some reason your car gets in a smash 'em up derby, well, you know what? You take it there. They have a full body shop. They're going to repair your car, get it out of there in showroom condition. You'll be happy. Your car will be happy. Your wife will be happy. Your kids will be happy. Your dog's going to be happy. I'm going to be Everybody's going to be happy. And you tell him, Paul, from your city, your voice sent you down there when you do make your appointment on Oakwood Drive, right by the Kia dealership. And we thank you for supporting our sponsors. And we thank you for subscribing to the video, smashing that subscribe button. Smash it. We need to get to 100 by the end of the year, and we're at 70 now or something like that. We need 30 more. Show your friends. Share it with your friends. Come out and get everybody involved. This is your city, your voice, where we talk about your city and what's going on in it. Hit the notification button so you know when I post a video. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. We'll talk about some comments that have been said before today. Maybe I think we'll get some comments from the show. And away we go. So thank you for supporting our sponsor. And we'll talk about Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue a little bit later on in the show. And today is not a bad day. It's chilly out there, cloudy. We're looking for some dampness. Of course, it's been raining and stuff. Flurries are supposed to be coming. You know, your usual November rain. I think Guns N' Roses did a song about November rain. I don't think they were talking about this weather, but they were talking about November rain. Let's see what happens. So I want to straighten something out here. We talked about this wine thing at St. Paul's, and I'm still out on it as far as, should we be having kids selling wine, or even the school being involved with a winery to make money, to raise money. And I've had so many different comments on it. And so my friend Dominic Caruso, he straightened me out on it. He said, Paul, they're not selling wine. What they're doing is getting people to go to Ammo Wines, owned by the Culinary Brothers in Niagara Falls. And their Culinary is giving $10 for every bottle of wine that's bought with a special code for St. Paul High School. So the kids aren't actually with a wine list checking them off and handing them in or doing it that way. It's just a promotion they're running with the winery. And when they sell wine, they're gonna give $10 for every bottle to the school. Okay, that sounds a little bit better than the kids going door to door trying to sell them like they did chocolate bars and Christmas cards and everything else, cookie dough and everything else that they did, over the years when we didn't do that when we went to school. We didn't have stuff like that, but I've seen it many times and I bought into it many times. So anyway, he wanted me to straighten that out. So there you go. They're not selling wine. They're not peddling wine. All they're doing is if you want a bottle of wine, you're going to drink wine at Christmas. You may as well buy it from Ammo Winery, and you can go on the St. Paul website or whatever and buy it from there, because when you buy it from there, and apparently they have really good wine, $10 every bottle that you order with a special code, and you order online, goes back to St. Paul High School. So just to straighten that out, Dominic wanted me to straighten it out. I've just been so busy on my show with other stuff. I haven't had time to do public service announcements, but I promised them today I would talk about it. There you go, Dominic. Thank you for straightening me out on that and straightening everybody else out. And hopefully the kids do good with their the wine sale, although I'm still not sure they should be involved with the winery for high school. I mean, booze is not a good thing to be involved with. I mean, what if a weed store came up and said we want to do the same thing? Would they say okay? Because the kids aren't really selling it. I don't know. It's a touchy thing. It's a touchy thing. I'm still out in my mind exactly how I would deal with it. But anyway, that's the story. So to me, it sounds a little bit better than the kids going door to door with a wine list, checking it off, and collecting money. They don't collect any money for it. Everything goes to the website, and then they're reimbursed from the website with a special code. Order your wine today, I guess. Now, some comments from previous shows. This is from Dave Wheeler. Kiwanis Club of Stanford has filled all the stands beside the kettles at Sobeys, and this is about the Sally Ann kettles. I was talking about it, asking people to donate if they can find it in their hearts to throw in a toonie or two of the Sally Ann, the Salvation Army kettles. You'll see at different stores, and Dave Wheeler, Wheels, my buddy, was just saying that they are helping them out, and they actually donated $5,000 to sell to Sally Ann this week, right? And he was speaking about the November 21st show where I was talking about the Salvation Army Christmas Kettle Drive. So there you go, Kiwanis Club of Stanford. Congratulations, they're right into the mix helping out. So I love it, and thanks for Dave for giving me that information on the video, so we can straighten that out. And comments are welcome. And if you can find it in your heart, you have a few extra toonies sitting around, donate. It goes to good causes, like we talked about on my show. Thank you so much from all of Niagara for the things you do for these causes, and especially this time of year when people need them. From the Iceman 69, a few comments on transportation and giving free rides to free food places like Project Share, when the transit budget is going to be going up by about 6% this year. He says, and we are wondering whether Ontario Works pays for this, or ODSP, or pays for it, or there's some other agency that gives them free rides rather than the city or region offering free rides. And he says, Iceman 69 here, Iceman 69, Ontario Works does not provide free transit, but it does cover some transportation costs for medical treatment, and there's no funding for the new wastewater plant. So he went out right on from there to let me know when we were talking about the wastewater plant. He says, with Chris Regas was in here, We were talking about it and thought they had the funding in place. And he said, there's no funding for the new wastewater plant. What's Chris smoking? That was the Iceman 69 who was asking that question. And I looked it up. I looked it up to see what was going on with that. And according to what I read, it has an approved capital budget of 248 million, with 31 million initiated for environmental assessment, property acquisition, and so on. Iceman 69 is correct in that the provincial has not committed to the project, the provincial government, but funds from the province and feds are there. They just haven't been released. They've committed to the project. The funds haven't been released. Now, the region has committed funds in their 2021 and 2022 budgets of approximately $400 million for it. But they are going to need additional funds that will come from the province and the Fed. So that's what I found out, Iceman 69. If that's wrong, then you got to take it up with the reporters who reported it and with anything on the internet. So straighten those comments out right away. Got right to them. And any comments you have, leave them, and I will definitely get to them and post them on my show. I'll talk about them on my show. Now, yesterday I went through all 382 pages of the mayor's capital budget and pointed out a plethora of items taxpayers are on the hook for. Well, that meeting starts in a few hours from now on niagarafalls.ca, YouTube, or Cogeco if they have it. Cogeco sometimes has it. So if you have time to tune in, of course, tune in to see what they have going on there at 2:00. And if you don't have time to tune in right now, they do have the YouTube version of it. You can see it on YouTube, even if you watch it tonight. And if you want some insight, you can listen to the show on YouTube as well. Your City, Your Voice. Now, just some comments. Remember, this budget is $16 million down from last year. Last year was $66 million. And then they added another 10 million to it. So 76 million. They approved 66, but if you remember, they approved another 10 million after the fact during the year to complete projects. So the total for the year was 76 million. And now it's down to 50 million. So that 16 million is floating around somewhere. Now, is it going to be used to reduce our taxes? Apparently not. They're already getting us ready for a 4 to 5% increase. So think about that for a moment. This is like a soap opera down there as the stomach turns. Yeah, my stomach doesn't feel good. Now, speaking of the budget, what I didn't have time to get to yesterday is the parking budget. And that's always been a bone of contention with me because we seem to run a deficit of a lot of years, especially during the COVID years. And now we seem to be picking it up a bit. We're making a little bit of money on it. But my thing is, if you don't make a lot of money on them, all you're doing is the make work program. You're paying the commissioners, you're paying the bylaw guys, you're paying the machines, the people who put these machines on there and charge you yearly fees for everything. You're paying for this big budget for parking and you're not making a lot of money. We're going to go through that in a second here. So my idea has always been, listen, let private enterprise do their job and run these things. And we charge them to lease these lots. And once they lease the lots, then we charge them a percentage of their gross. And they take care of everything. They take care of monitoring them. They take care of making sure they're plowed in the winter so they can have parking there. They take care of everything. We don't do nothing other than maintain them. So, if there's a hole, we got to patch it. That kind of thing. Other than that, we're not responsible for them. So basically, all the costs associated with them, monitoring, bylaw enforcement, machines, technology, everything else like that, we're off the hook for. Now, there's some parking lots that don't even make any money, or they make very little money. You might as well offer them for free, because the amount it takes to patrol them and enforce the bylaws and parking and machines and everything else probably costs more in that lot than we're making. Now, on the balance sheet, it doesn't look like it because they split the cost between all the parking lots and that. But if you had to pay parcel it out, I mean, yeah, we're making very little. Let me put it that way. So, if you're watching all the council interim reports this year, they were glowing. It looked like we were way ahead of the game, but at the end results show that over the 16 parking lots that city runs, they had a profit of 232,413 in 2024, about 14,525 per lot. Now, if you want to average that out, but some of the lots made over $100,000, and the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are in the main tourist area, down in Ellen Avenue, Bender Hill, those big ones like that. But basically, $14,000 a lot is basically a make work program for a lot of this. The time you get rid of all the expenses by not having to run them, and leave the ones free, that so you don't have to monitor them, leave them free parking on some of these ones that are rarely used, that are losing money, and just lease our private lots out. Ellen Avenue, Kitchener, in Victoria, that parking lot, Park in St. Clair, Huron and St. Clair, Bender Hill. There are big ones, they make the most money. And that makes sense. They're right in the middle of the tourist area, so they're used a lot. But I think if we lease them out and got good money for them, like the bigger lots that are pulling down a lot of money, we know how much they make. We've been running them for years. So you're going to charge more of a monthly fee for them. I think we could make over $232,413 in a year. And we cut our expenses dramatically if we don't have to patrol all these. The ones that are making money, let them go free. The ones that are making money, right, are going to be run private enterprise. We don't have any expenditures. We have nothing other than maintenance. But the ones that aren't being used that much don't need a lot of maintenance, obviously. It's the ones that are being used that need a lot of maintenance, but that's part of leasing them out to people. So we charge them a lot to lease them out. So I would say lease out the biggies, ditch the expenses, and get rid of and have the small ones free. I mean, I don't know if anybody's done a study of that or they're going to plan to, but I would say that would be a suggestion I would make if I was on council. And I believe Lori Lococo has brought it up before, but she just got shot down for it. No, we've looked at that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, these guys, they hire all these people. They want to hire 3 more people. In the parking budget, they want to hire 3 more people, and they're continuing on basically the same path of breaking even. They're predicting a surplus of 244,000, 245,000 this year. So it's the same old, same old. Make work program is basically what it is. But we don't need more make work programs in the city. Now, the mayor wants this passed now. He don't want to fool around. He wants this passed today. Using the Strong Mayors Act, he's looking into shortening the review period on this and adopt it today. No more thinking about it. Usually it would go to 30 days to December 5th. I think that's when the meeting is, December 5th. Is that a Tuesday? December 5th. I don't know. Let's see. The 3rd is a Tuesday. Maybe the 10th is when the next meeting is. I don't think it's next Tuesday. But anyway, that's that. That's that. Now on the budget part, they're going to be talking about these. There's been a couple of requests from council. Now, out of our 8 counselors, 2 have something to say, and I can guarantee you will guess the 2 that have something to say, and I guarantee you that during the meeting there will be people who stand up because they got to have something to say, but they didn't submit it before. They're going to say it off the cuff that night, and a lot of it will be grandstanding. Oh, taxpayers, yeah, right. So Councillor Lococo, you could have guessed that she's going to ask for something, has submitted comments asking for a deferral of two projects to lower the impact of the capital budget. A deferral on the NS&T trail build. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. We don't need this. $13 million, and they're going to put $1.13 million this year. Forget about it. Forget about it. Get rid of it. And the deferral of the new arch for City Hall weddings. And I said that on my show yesterday. Forget about it. Another thing we don't need. So that's like about $1.4 million. And, and from what I've been told, $700,000 equals 1% on the budget. If we can save $700,000, we drop it 1%. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody can comment on that. I don't know if that's true or not. But if it is, 1.4 million is 2%. Isn't that nice? Well, isn't that nice? How you doing? Yeah, so there you go. Do the math. So two deferrals, NS&T Trail and the deferral of the new arch for City Hall for the weddings. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Councillor Peter Angel also got in there. He wants to make some amendments. But he wants to spend money. What? We're trying to save money. Trying to save money on the budget, right? We're trying to save money. Trying to save money on the budget. And the council's getting up to spend more. He wants to add spending to install another accessible swing, adding $45,000 to the capital budget. And he also wants to allocate funds to resolve a situation at the Fernwood subdivision where stormwater management pond has some kind of plant, phragmite. Phragmite grow. It's got phragmites. And cleaning it out is the only solution. So he says that should be added as a capital expense for this year. Phragmite cleaning, which I don't know what it costs to clean phragmite, but somebody may be able to tell me. But I don't know. When you start cleaning out ponds and stuff and you get contractors in to do it, I don't think City Hall guys do it. It sounds like to me like this is going to cost a lot of money, in excess of $100,000 probably. I don't know. But two people have stood up so far, Victor and Laurie, which makes sense. They do most of the stuff. And I believe that they are probably two of the people that have gone through the 382 pages. I don't know. We'll find out this afternoon at 2:00 who actually went through it. But yeah, he wants to add some more spending to it. Now, having said that, don't get too mad at the guy for wanting to spend more money. He didn't make any suggestions to save any money or let's not do this and do this. He wants to add it. But then again, last year they added $10 million to the capital budget that we never had. It's like Houdini. See the pen? Where'd it go? It's not there anymore. Where is it? Oh, hey, let me see. There it is again. See, where'd it go? Where'd the pen go? Sleight of hand. Anyway, and a resident's going to send in a delegation, I guess you would call it, about different things. Peter Colosimo, and I know him. He's a good guy. But he asked about the $10.6 million I was just talking about. Council approved over and above 2024's approved budget of $66.7 million. And how they can do that once the budget is approved at a certain time and at a certain amount. They approved it in the city council meeting. He's looking to a bylaw to prevent it. Yeah, I agree. I looked at it and I said, wow, they jumped their taxes by 4.9% or something. And because we didn't have money to pay for everything. And the CAO didn't want to cut services. They have to cut services. Oh, geez. But they found $10 million to blow. Okay. So he wants to talk about that and some planning matters. He used to be a planner. He knows what he's talking about. That's his realm, Peter. Which council should consider whatever he says. The guy's a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. So you'll have to go in and read his letter to the council about it. I don't know if he's going to get up and give a deputation about it. I know there are going to be some people in the crowd getting up, and one of them is our resident getter upper, Jody Burnett. Yeah, he's well known at council meetings. He submitted a letter requesting a delegation to present his proposal on the 2025 capital budget, and he said he has slides. He's going to be doing a little slideshow presentation for us. Now, remember, Mayor Jim, 5 minutes. That's it. You got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Now, I think maybe if he asks council for a few more minutes, they might put their hand up, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Most of the council, other than people who really care, think he's kind of a pain in the, you know what? PETA. Pain in the ETA, right? So I don't think they give him any more time, but he better get it done in 5 minutes because they'll be telling him, that's it, 5 minutes up. They put the stop clock up there. And as a matter of fact, they're so interested in this stop clock, they're gonna get a new one for city council. That's part of the capital budget, a new stop clock. So he's interested in two things: selling surplus land to raise money for the city, and reassessing properties, which is interesting. He cited a case out of Toronto, I believe, and he's applying this workbook, and he thinks he can get an extra 10 million for the city initially, and then realize 1.5 million a year annually from this reassessing properties. So he applied it to Canadian Niagara hotels in the city concerning their assessment of their property, instantly putting $12 million in the city coffers and adding an additional 1.4 million a year. So you have to tune in to see what his idea is here, but he's claiming a lot of money can be put into the city coffers. The more that goes in, the less we have to pay. So if there's an idea, I'd be willing to listen, but I would say that probably the city council is going to poo-poo it. Poo-poo, poo-poo. You're talking about Canadian Niagara Hotels, and I'm not sure which one that is, who owns that, but it's one of the big players, the big three or whatever the hell they are. And yeah. Now, there's going to be more people getting up and talking as well, so we'll see what they have to say. And I'm sure it's going to be really interesting. Don't forget, 2 o'clock, NiagaraFalls.ca, watch it live. YouTube, watch it live. And Coach Go, if they present it. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. You can watch it live there. So that's about it for the budget. I've been through it yesterday for most of the show. Well, all of the show, actually, and in 10 minutes more. And I've been through whatever's left over today. You'll probably hear a lot more of discussions about a lot of different things than I said yesterday. I'm hoping, I'm praying that City Council takes it seriously and these guys get up and that they've gone through it and they mark down things that they have questions about, and they mark down things where they may not think the expenditures are valid and they want them cut because they demanded that Jason Burgess, the CAO, cut $1 million from the budget. And of course, our goal as taxpaying citizens is to come in at a zero budget. We don't want our taxes to go up this year. And I still contend there's a lot of money floating around, $80 million. There's no reason to raise our taxes. So over to this Toronto power station down on by Duff there, the old Toronto power station, power generating station. Now, it looks like this dream of refurbishing that building, keeping it to its historic past and the look of it, and it's a beautiful building. It really is. So this company's coming in. They said they were going to, and it looks like they're going to start doing it. It's going to come to fruition. And I'm going to tell you, when this thing is done, this is going to be iconic. It's going to be something to see. The developers, Society Developments, in collaboration with Pearl Hospitality of Ancaster, and they specialize in revamping these old industrial buildings like grain mills and mills that run on water, stone mills, and that kind of thing. They have recently seen the Ontario government give the Niagara Parks the approval for the project, a big step, because the Parks has anything to say about what's going down there. And that was basically the last stepping stone to this thing being built, which is fantastic news. They want to develop it into a five-star boutique hotel, including amenities such as indoor and outdoor public viewing areas, a museum, and an art gallery. The $200 million project is funded entirely by the developers, and once finished, it will have dining areas, a theater, and various restaurants. So it's going to be something, including a boutique hotel. And what a venue. I mean, it overlooks the beautiful Niagara River. The falls are just over there. If you're looking out the back at it, you'd be looking at kind of like Niagara Falls, New York. And then to the left would be the falls themselves. And to the right is the big control gate and the river and the scour right there as well. And I can't wait to see this happen. I think this is going to be just great. The structure is just fantastic. I thought years ago it'd make a great place for our first casino. Yeah, right there. I mean, that would have been beautiful on the water and that kind of thing, and a casino in there. Oh my goodness. I mean, people would come just to see this casino. You don't have to build New York, or Venice, or any of the other baloney in Vegas. We got it right there, Niagara Falls. Yeah, it would be a beautiful casino, but that never came to be, of course. But it's going to be a jewel in the hat of Niagara Falls. I'll tell you right now, and the tourist industry, as the province tourism minister Stan Cho is looking to double the tourists that visit Niagara Falls every year. This works right in with him, and he wants to build a lot more that make the task easier to double up on our tourism. He says, without any effort, they think they can go from 13 million visitors a year to 26 million. They haven't even touched the potential of Niagara Falls yet. So my thing is, how about this? Putting in a monorail. Maybe I'm finally going to get my monorail in this town. I got big plans for a monorail. Got no money, but I got big plans. And I've been saying this for a lot of years now. Ask Jamie Jones. He'll tell you. He'll tell you about it. But I envision Thorold Stone Road, where they put the new extension through the old Kimberly Clark building, being part of a terminal. People drive to there. They park. They get on a monorail that swings right down through here, right down. And I can watch it every day, right over here if I'm still alive. Go right by here and then down and drop people off at Queen Street if they want to get off. Old Queen Street, old historic Queen Street. And then keep going down that trail there, that train tracks we bought for 18 million 30 years ago. And just keep going right to Bender Hill, to Clifton Hill, all the way to the new casinos, and right out to Chippewa. It would be phenomenal. Start building spurs off down Lundy's Lane and up Throwstone Road. It would be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal. And locals could use it too. How many people drop their kids off at Clifton Hill? Then they got to go down there at 2 a.m. to pick them up because they don't want them walking up that hill by themselves. They got to walk up because you can't get down there with traffic. Hey, they can hop on the monorail, nice and safe, right over here to Throwstone Road to pick them up. I think it would be fantastic, and that's what I'm looking for. Some kind of modern transportation system that's iconic, that people will come to ride this thing. This is what big cities do. World class cities have good transportation. What do we got right now? The Wrinkle. That's it. People crowd on this old buses, got a big thing in the middle, and then oh my god! I mean, come on, you got electric monorails, nice and clean, elevated so they don't block traffic or get in the way of anything. They're not jamming on their brakes in the middle of Victoria Avenue so that people can get on and off. I mean, it just makes sense, man. Come on, come on. And I thank Ray Spiteri for the great article in the review about the Toronto Power Station. It's going to be something, and I can't wait to see it come to fruition. And hopefully, it spurs the city to do great things. But to do great things, you need a great council. You need a great council with a vision, who can see down the road, right? Who haven't been there for 40 years. New ideas, new people. Ah, boy. If dreams could only come true somewhere over the rainbow. Okay, Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Let's talk about my second sponsor because if there's anything that makes me happy and calms me down, it's pizza. And especially a nice pizza from Pete's Pizza. Now, these guys know how to do it. They know how to make a pizza. The right blend of Saputo, mozzarella, and brick on the sauce, the right ratio. Not too much cheese, not too much sauce, just perfect. Cornmeal on the bottom, using the old Mancini's recipe for sauce and crust. Phenomenal. Then knowing how to cook it and knowing how long to cook it for. Fresh toppings. That's what you want to see in a pizza. And that's what they do at Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. Go down there. It's so simple. They have a full menu. We had some steak and cheese poutine that was out of this world. The wings. Well, you know what I mean. I'm a wing guy too, pizza and wing guy. And they're second to none. They're awesome. Everything that I've had on that menu is really, really good. Let me put it that way. And you know what? I'm telling you the way it is. Because seriously, I told Mike, hey, you want to sponsor my show? I got to like your pizza. Went down there, sent Liz down, get a pizza. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. How do you get one of these beautiful pizzas? Well, you dial 905-374-2222, or you go to Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca and you order it online. You can order right online. Order them up. 20 minutes later, you got a beautiful pizza. How about that? And Mike's aware that there's not a lot of places open in this city later. So he extended his hours on Sundays, I think, till midnight, and Friday and Saturday till 2 in the morning. So you go out for a couple of wobbly pops, got a little bit of the munchies while you're watching Fright Night on Channel 7. I mean, that's what we used to do. I don't think it happens anymore. And you knock down a couple pieces of pizza, soak up all that booze, and then you go to bed. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you have pizza in the morning. You have pizza in the morning. Doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than that. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Check it out. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And support our sponsors because they support us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so talked about our sponsors now. Now let's get to I talked about the monorail, and they're also talking about more casinos in the city, and I love this idea as well. I mean, you put more attractions and what do you call that? Canada's Wonderland type of attraction here, and that's what this guy is saying. Stan Cho, the tourism minister, they want to work on Niagara Falls as a destination. He says that he can double it, but we've got to put everything that we offer together in a package, and it's marketed as a package. He has the falls. He said we have wineries, history, important battles in the War of 1812 here, beaches, cruise ships, and of course the Great Lakes themselves, and of course all secondary to one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls. So it's time that they sharpened up their tourism game, and they had a destination strategy for Niagara Falls. Right, when people come here, they stay here. And we're not talking rubber tire. We want people to fly in here, and that's the Niagara District Airport. We have an airport. We can fly people in on junkets. And of course, my monorail, the connecting link to all of them to get people around fast and smooth, and would be an attraction themselves. So we got to step up our game. I mean, monorails aren't anything new. They have them in most airports in the United States as a monorail. They have one in Toronto for, not going to swear, for goodness sake. Come on. I mean, Disneyland built theirs in the late 50s for Disneyland. I mean, we're like 60 years, 70 years behind the thing here, and we want to be a big tourist town. So everything's going to be developed together, and I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but you know what? This is where we got to go. I mean, and I said that way before. This is a tourist town now. We got rid of most of our industry for one reason or the other, and now it's a tourist town. So let's hammer it. It's hammer time, and it's been waiting to happen since the '80s. We had a real bad spell in the '80s about tourism and that, and then once the casinos came in, that jumped it back up, and we're back in the game, baby. But we got to exploit it. We got to take advantage of it. I mean, there's a lot of places in the United States that you can go now that were nothing 60 years ago. Like, who even went to Nashville? Or Brandon, wherever the hell that is, Tennessee or whatever that's called. Even Vegas. I mean, Vegas in the 50s and 60s. I mean, I wasn't there in the 60s. I was there in the early 70s. And it's 50 years ago. Like, it's a shadow of what it is today. I mean, so they've really hammered it with these big hotels. I mean, it was more fun in the 70s, to be honest with you, but right now, wow. So that's what we have to do. The casinos can center it. They've already centered it, and now we got to expand out on that and go for it. We got to quit wasting time. Get her done. Maybe I'll get the monorail before I die. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, thanks to Ray Spiteri again. He wrote a great article about it and in the review. So if you don't subscribe to the review, yeah, I do. Well, I do because I get a lot of my information off for the show off of that, and I appreciate all the great writers: Allison Langley, Johnny Law, Ray Spiteri, Alan Benner. I mean, there's a crew of them that do a great job. Bill Sawchuk, I think, is another one. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So speaking of Vegas, I don't know if anybody heard about this. They had a big Formula One race last weekend, November 22nd to 24th or something. Right? And I'm laughing. The drivers were complaining that the smell of weed was so bad from so many people smoking weed in the crowd. They were worried about being drug tested and getting a positive result. That's right. People were lining the streets to see this F1 and were smoking so much weed when the drivers were going by, they could smell it. And at the start of the race, they could smell it. It was wafting over their cars. Max Verstappen, he said jokingly, he was high in the car. It's not ideal because you can also smell it while you're driving. It's quite extreme. Can you imagine? The guy's driving, and all he smells is weed. And you thought Niagara Falls was bad. Holy snappers, we don't even hold a candle to Vegas. These guys, it must be a big deal there. It's legal. It's legal in Nevada, in Vegas, but of course you can't smoke inside, so you don't have to worry about getting fumed out at a Vegas Knights hockey game or any of the other indoor events. But yeah, for this, it was really bad. And his Red Bull teammate, Sergio Perez, said the same thing. And he said, I'm tired of it already. The amount of smoke and smell is incredible. I mean, for guys in cars. You got to ask how many people are puffing on Thai stick at the track to have drivers complaining about it. This is beyond Thunderdome. Holy crap-oli. Now, Nevada voters approved legalizing the drug in 2016, and the new law took effect January 1st, 2017 in Nevada. But Mary Jane remains illegal under federal law. Of course, no indoor sporting events have problems. The smoking is banned indoors except for the casinos. I still think you can smoke in the casinos in Vegas, which is strange. Smoke them if you got them, but you got to realize Las Vegas is not in the city. How do I put this? The Strip in Las Vegas is not in the city of Las Vegas. And I know people will argue with me, but it's not in the city of Las Vegas. The Strip is in the city of Paradise. Now, Paradise is an unincorporated city that was made when the hotel started building on the strip. And the reason they made it was because the city of Las Vegas, which is the old downtown, right? Downtown Vegas, charged them so much tax to have the hotels in that there. They said, screw this. We're going to create our own little city and knock the taxes down for the people who build on the strip. Take me down to the Paradise City where the girls are thing, the booze is thing, and the girls are pretty, or whatever the heck Axl Rose. Yeah, so there you go. Take me down to the Paradise City where the girls are wild and the booze is pretty, or whatever they say. But anyway, I didn't know if you knew that. That's a little bit of trivia. And yeah, so there. I think you can smoke in casinos there. It's different laws. Oh, now moving on, I was reading an article by a couple of immigration and refugee lawyers who, of course, find ways to let illegal immigrants into the country. They're saying that since the first Trump administration, it's going to be tougher for refugees that are expected to swarm over the border to get into Canada claiming refugee status. And we just saw a big thing on the news today where Trump's saying that if Canada doesn't get their house in order, or Mexico, he's going to throw a 25% tariff on everything that crosses the border, all goods. And it's to encourage them to get their house in order. They got 60 days to get their house in order before he takes over. Now, this is a good thing because they're going to be coming across this border. And Trump doesn't want them going the other way. And a lot of them do. But we've got to get tough with our laws too and keep them from coming in. I mean, Roxham Road is closed, but that was where everybody came over. And the Mounties helped them with their bags to get over. Now, in March 2023, Canada and the U.S. re-signed the Safe Third Country Agreement, which applies across the entire 49th. It says that people must claim asylum in the first safe country in which they arrive. So, if they arrive in the United States, they can't come to Canada to claim asylum. That's what this is all about. They got to claim it in the first country they arrive in. So what this means is that first surge that we're anticipating, because Trump's going to deport all of them, and they're not going to want to go back to their country. They're going to want to come to Canada. Well, if that happens, they won't be allowed in Canada. That's a good thing. Now, if they can be allowed in if they meet several conditions, and they're considered loopholes by anybody in the legal area. And that's if you are accompanied, if you are if you are an unaccompanied child under 18 with no legal guardian in Canada. I had a Joe Biden moment there. You have a close family member with the right status residing in Canada. You are at risk of the death penalty in the country you're coming from, and you have a valid Canadian visa. Why we would want to take somebody facing the death penalty in the United States is beyond me. If he's facing the death penalty, he did something that he shouldn't have done. And in that regard, we don't want him in this country, do we? But it's part of it. Now, most of the illegals that are being deported by Trump cannot meet these criteria, of course, so they're not getting into Canada. My thing is, don't let them in, even if they meet the exceptions. They meet those exceptions. Don't let them in. We're jammed full of refugees now. And we don't know what to do with them as we sit here. Why add more to the pool? But you think this agreement's going to stop them? No. Think again. It's not going to stop anything. In Ottawa, they're building facilities to support and shelter immigrants with welcome and reception centers, anticipating this surge. So they're building places for them. They know they're coming. These 30,000 square foot structures will have plumbing and running water, and they're called transitional housing. Each person would have their own pod to kind of keep their belongings separated from others and have a little bit of privacy. Kind of like, you go to an office building and you got your little walls up, you got your own little pod to work in, like that. Only with a bed in it and stuff they can sleep on. I mean, geez, wouldn't that be nice for the Canadian homeless? to have nice, warm little pods where they can put their stuff, the little stuff that they have. They don't have a lot, and have it safe and have a bed to sleep on every night. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, they're building them across Canada, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Ottawa, and they're going to house the illegals in them. Yep. Trudeau, he's promised to bring in millions more. He said 1.5 million in the next 3 years. And Ford's trying to build houses fast enough to house them because there's no housing for them. And they said there's no concern for safety. Oh, really? Really? No concern for public safety, but they're going to have 24-hour security guards on these places to make sure everything's okay. Yeah. I mean, if this is a prison, let's just call it. Why not just say so? These immigrants are coming. We're going to put them in a prison, a camp. And oh yeah, one last thing. These centers will be funded exclusively for refugees and asylum seekers. Canadian homeless are not welcome. Bam! Gotcha on that one, right? There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't get it. I don't get it. Don't we ever take care of our own before we take care of others? Is there something like that in Canada? Make Canada great again. Americans first. I mean, Trump has that. America first. We're going to take care of our own before we take care of everybody else. Closing the borders. Putting more money into programs for Americans. Quit this carbon tax baloney, giving money away to these countries. Get out of that stuff. Keystone Pipeline, more oil, drill baby drill. Lower prices for oil, lower prices on goods and services. I mean, why in Canada aren't we on board with this? I don't get it. Why should we have to worry about Trump putting a 25% tariff on Canada? Shouldn't we already be working with him so he doesn't have to threaten this kind of crazy stuff? I mean, it's just a threat. He's not going to do it. But he's telling Trudeau, get your house in order or we're gonna. And now everybody's scrambling around. Doug Ford, business, Trudeau, like, geez, get your house in order. That's all they're asking. I mean, when they get their house in order, we get our house in order. It's better for us. It's better for all Canadians, whether you're homeless or anything. It's better for everybody. Lower prices are better for everybody. Lower taxes, are you listening, City Council? Are better for everybody. When you raise our taxes, prices go up. Prices go up, they have to go up. Businesses have to raise their prices. It causes inflation. And then we get the kick in the jaloots from the city council. We get a kick in the culo from regional. And then we get a punch in one eye from the province and a punch in the other eye from the feds. And before you know it, we can't breathe. We need a hospital. We're in a tent somewhere. That's what I say. We have to really, really watch it. Have to watch it. And over in the United States of America, of course, Trumpster is on the warpath. He's doing things right. The repercussions of the Trump landslide are already being felt around the world. Biden and his tater tots, they're trying their best to start World War III. So far, nothing big has happened, but the Ukraine with U.S. and NATO-backed long-range missiles are threatening Russia, and Putin is shaking his saber. He's rattling it harder and harder all the time. And Trump has basically filled all his cabinet positions, and the left-wing lunatics are having a total meltdown as they wrestle with a huge debt from Kamala's overspending during the campaign. Well, she's nowhere to be found, downing Mai Tais in Hawaii since the election. She's nowhere to be found. Not even a picture of her on the beach. She's in lockdown. She's holed up on a bender, people say. Who knows? But they're having a total meltdown. Everybody's pointing fingers at Joe and Kamala and this and the thing and the left-wing radicals. And, we've left our people behind by going with this AOC +3 baloney. But yesterday, Biden handed out a pardon. That's right. He handed out a pardon. He pardoned the Thanksgiving turkeys in a mumbling, bumbling speech. Now the turkeys' names are Peach and Blossom. And there's a reason they're named Peach and Blossom. I mean, who would name turkeys Peach and Blossom? They're named that because the peach blossom is the flower, the official state flower of Delaware. So Peach and Blossom, they avoided the Thanksgiving dinner table and were sent away safe from the axe. Yep, they're gone. They're going back to Minnesota where they came from to live a nice life. Now, if they need tampons, Tampon Tim's from there, so he might help them out. You should have named the two turkeys Kamala and Barack, because they at some point may need pardons. Now, that would have been fitting after the turkey of a campaign they put together. I mean, so there you go. Two turkeys together at one. Now, reporters were yelling at Biden if he was going to pardon Hunter. I mean, the whole thing was a mess. The whole conference of these two turkeys, and he's talking about tater tots. He was calling them tutor pooters or something. It was crazy. It was crazy. He's nuts. This guy's, and the reporters were all yelling at him. So the lame duck president pardoned the turkeys. Imagine that. Now, Biden said it was the last time he would be speaking this year. That's it. He pardoned the turkeys, and that he's done. But I think he forgot Christmas is 4 weeks away, and he's probably going to be given a Christmas message. I mean, usually presidents give a Christmas address wishing the nation a Merry Christmas, although he might not do that because, those guys can't say that. You got to say Happy Holidays. They have a holiday tree and holiday candy canes and everything else. You got to say Merry Christmas, although Trump's going to say Merry Christmas, believe me. You don't put up with that nonsense. So maybe he's going to pardon Hunter for Christmas. Wouldn't that be a nice Christmas gift? But Hunter has to remember that his father may not remember to pardon him. What a Christmas present for Hunter. Here, you're off all the charges. And it could happen. It could happen. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But look for it. He might. He might yet. If he remembers. Still got 2 months in there, even though he's a lame duck and Kamala can't be found. And the Democrats are scrambling for money. And they're all pointing fingers at each other. Even the crazy guy from Louisiana there, that guy, Jim Carvel, I think his name is. He's freaking out. He's freaking right out over what happened. And everybody else is. So it's funny to watch him now. Ran such a bad campaign. Just terrible. I mean, and now they're paying for it. They're out. See you later. Goodbye. And let's hope it trickles down into Canada where next election, which hopefully is in the spring, we get rid of this guy and get somebody in there who can work with Trump and give us some of the good things the United States are going to be getting. Yeah. So rounding out today's show, because I'm getting out of here, I just want to talk to City Council to end my show. We are in a time of high prices on most goods people need. Heat, hydro, fuel, food, basically the cost of living. Many are struggling to survive, so your mandate for taxpayers is to follow the needs, not wants, of the people when spending taxpayer dollars. You're our fiscal guardians. You're the keeper to the keys of the vault where taxpayers keep their money. We keep the city running with our tax dollars. Times are not good for people. In these times, it's more important than ever that council not contribute to their pain. They ease the pain by eliminating wasteful spending and tightening city belts. This is the job you signed up for when you were elected to the position of a city councilor. That's right. You were elected and you have a mandate to watch our money. We depend on you to do the right things for us. We want you to take the job responsibly, seriously, and make the right decisions for taxpayers. Not for you, not for staff, for taxpayers, the guys who pay your way. That's your duty. And if you don't do your duty, then there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be informed this time around, and you're not coming back. That's it. Do your duty. Do your duty. That's all anybody asks of you. Be prepared, do your duty, be fiscally responsible, tighten your belt so the taxpayers don't have to tighten theirs. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm out of here. I'm done. That's it for today. And Thursday, I'm going to be back to talk about what they talk about today. I'm getting home to watch it at 2 o'clock and see what they do here. And we'll be talking about it on Thursday. Until then, I ask you to support our sponsors. Yes, please support our sponsors. I ask you to tune in to the city council meeting, whether it's on a repeat broadcast on YouTube later on. Know what's going on. It's your city, your voice, your vote. Know what's going on. I know we're 2 years from another election, but it goes by fast. These guys have to be held accountable for everything. Now, tomorrow's Habsolutely. I do all Habs all show, so we won't be talking about anything political. It'll be about our Habs. Sometimes fun, sometimes not fun to talk about. So we'll be back I'll be back for that tomorrow with my co-host John Filion. Thursday we'll be looking at what happened today, this afternoon, and Friday will be finally Friday. Maybe I'll get somebody in, I don't know, talk about it. Everybody will have a little bit more knowledge about what happened on Tuesday, so maybe we'll get somebody in. Just so we have another opinion, because you know what mine is going to be. Yeah. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. If you tune in, you know. If you don't, you don't know. And I ask you, like I say, to support our sponsors. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button, when I drop a video. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't like it. And leave a couple comments. I have the guys who always leave comments, and I appreciate it. Thank you, John Ringo Beam. Thank you, Dave Wheeler. Thank anybody else who's left comments. We appreciate it on the show. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Watch the meeting today. Ciao, ciao, everybody. God bless everybody. And tomorrow's another show. See you at noon. Bye-bye.